June 11, 1944, Normandy, France. 659 hours, 43 men crouch in a sunken lane bordered by hedgerows. Their rifles and submachine guns point toward an open field 300 meters wide. Beyond the field, a tree line marks the edge of higher ground. German positions have been identified there since yesterday afternoon. Smoke from morning cooking fires drifts above the trees. The company commander stands near the center of the lane, one hand resting on the edge of the embankment. His boots are caked with mud. The platoon leaders are positioned at intervals along the line. Each watches the commander. The men have fixed bayonets. Magazines are full. Grenades hang from webbing and belts. The field is empty. Grass stands knee-high, still wet with dew. A fence line runs diagonally across the middle, posts leaning at irregular angles. The ground slopes gently upward. No movement is visible in the tree line. No sounds come from that direction. The commander has not signaled. The men remain motionless. Their breathing is controlled. The weight of equipment presses into shoulders and hips. The air smells of crushed vegetation and diesel, exhaust from vehicles somewhere behind them. No whistle has been blown. No arm has been raised. The company arrived at this position at 430 hours after a night march from the assembly area 2 kilometers south. They were tasked with clearing German forces from the high ground to secure the regiment's eastern flank. Reconnaissance patrols reported an estimated platoon strength element occupying defensive positions in and beyond the tree line. Artillery support was denied due to competing demands elsewhere along the front. The attack plan was straightforward. 1st and 2nd platoons would advance across the open field under covering fire from 3rd platoon, which held positions along the hedgerow. Once 1st and 2nd reached the fence line, they would reorganize and continue the assault into the trees. The field offered no cover. Speed and momentum were essential. The company had conducted similar attacks 3 times since landing on D-Day. Casualties had been moderate in 2 engagements, heavy in the 3rd. The men understood the procedure. Cross the open ground quickly. Stay dispersed. Do not stop until reaching the objective. Those who fell would be retrieved after the position was taken. The commander had briefed the platoon leaders at 5:15 hours using a hand-drawn sketch. Timing was critical. The assault was scheduled to begin at 6:20 hours, coordinated with a diversionary movement by another company to the west. The diversion would draw attention and possibly fire. The window for the attack was narrow. The men have been in position for 20 minutes. Some have loosened canteen caps to drink. Others have adjusted chin straps or shifted the weight of ammunition pouches. The youngest replacements, who joined 4 days ago, keep their eyes on the veterans. Everyone watches the field. Infantry doctrine for crossing open ground under potential fire emphasizes speed, dispersion, and suppressive fire from supporting elements. Training at camps in England reinforced these principles repeatedly. Platoons practiced assault movements across fields marked with tape and stakes. Officers timed each repetition. Soldiers learned to maintain intervals, to keep moving forward, to close with the objective regardless of resistance. The company has executed this type of attack before. On June 8, they crossed 200 meters of pasture to take a farmhouse held by a machine gun section. 5 men were wounded during the advance. The position was overrun in 11 minutes. On June 9, they assaulted across a wheat field toward a stone wall. 7 men fell before reaching cover. The attack succeeded. The pattern is established. Casualties occur. The objective is taken. The commander has led the company since April. He is 26 years old. His decisions have been consistent with doctrine and with the expectations of battalion command. He has ordered attacks when required. He has reported results accurately. His efficiency ratings are satisfactory. The platoon leaders have varying levels of experience. The first platoon leader is on his second week of combat. The second platoon leader landed with the company on June 6. The third platoon leader, who will provide covering fire, has been with the unit since training in the States. All understand what is expected. The men in the lane have checked their weapons. Bolts have been cycled. Safeties have been tested. The automatic rifleman near the left end of the line has his weapon resting on the embankment, bipod extended. His assistant carries extra magazines. Both are ready. The commander does not blow his whistle. He does not raise his arm. He does not step forward. His hand remains on the embankment. His head turns slightly, scanning the tree line across the field. His jaw is set. His eyes do not blink. No signal is given. The platoon leaders wait. Their hands rest on their weapons. They do not look at each other. They watch the commander. The men in the lane remain crouched. Some shift their weight. Others tighten their grips. No one speaks. 15 seconds pass, then 30. The commander does not move. His hand does not lift from the embankment. His mouth does not open. The whistle remains on the cord around his neck. The field does not change. The grass moves slightly in a breath of wind. The fence posts stand crooked. The tree line is dark and still. No smoke rises now. No figures appear. The distance remains 300 meters. The men continue to wait. 1 minute passes. Then 2, the scheduled time for the assault comes and goes. 06:20 hours, 06:21, 06:22. The commander remains in position. His hand has not moved. His expression has not changed. The platoon leaders glance at their watches. They look back at the commander. No explanation is offered. The men in the lane begin to feel the strain of remaining crouched. Knees ache. Calves tighten. The automatic rifleman adjusts his grip on the weapon, but does not take his eyes off the field. His assistant shifts the weight of the ammunition pouches on his belt. Neither speaks. 3 minutes. The first platoon leader takes a half step toward the commander, then stops. He does not call out. He waits. The commander's head turns slightly, acknowledging the movement, but he says nothing. The platoon leader returns to his position. 4 minutes. One of the replacements lowers himself from a crouch to one knee. The man beside him remains crouched. The veteran does not look at the replacement. Both keep their weapons pointed toward the field. The grass continues to move in the slight wind. The tree line remains unchanged. 5 minutes. The second platoon leader removes his helmet and wipes sweat from his forehead with the back of his hand. He replaces the helmet and adjusts the strap. His rifle leans against the embankment. He does not pick it up. He watches the commander. The diversionary movement to the west, if it occurred, is not audible from this position. No gunfire, no explosions. The coordination that was planned has either failed or proceeded without connection to this location. The silence continues. At 06:27 hours, the company runner arrives from battalion headquarters. He moves quickly along the sunken lane and stops beside the commander. He hands over a folded message slip. The commander reads it without expression. He folds it again and places it in his jacket pocket. The message states that aerial reconnaissance conducted at 05:45 hours identified movement of German armor, 3 tanks and supporting infantry, approximately 1 kilometer northeast of the tree line. The armor was moving south on a trajectory that would bring it into the area behind the high ground within 30 minutes. Battalion command assessed that an infantry assault across open ground would place the attacking force in an untenable position if the armor arrived during or immediately after the attack. The order was to hold position and await further instructions. No assault was to be conducted until the armor threat was clarified or neutralized. The message was dispatched at 06:10 hours. It took 17 minutes to reach the company commander. The commander does not read the message aloud. He gestures to the platoon leaders. They move toward him in a low crouch. He shows them the message. They read it in sequence. No discussion follows. The first platoon leader returns to his section. The second does the same. The third platoon leader moves back to his position along the hedgerow. The men in the lane are not informed of the specifics. The platoon leaders signal their sections to stand down from immediate assault readiness, but to remain in position. Soldiers ease back from the embankment. Some sit. Others remain crouching. Weapons are lowered but kept within reach. The decision not to attack was made by battalion command based on reconnaissance information. The company commander received the order after the scheduled assault time had already passed. He did not order the attack. He waited. The wait was unexplained to those in the lane until the message arrived. At 06:35 hours, distant engine sounds become audible from the northeast. The sound grows louder, then fades. No vehicles appear in the tree line or on the high ground. The German positions remain occupied, but show no increased activity. The company remains in the sunken lane. By 07:10 hours, word reaches the commander that the armor movement has shifted direction, moving east rather than south. The immediate threat to this sector has diminished. Battalion orders the company to hold its current position and maintain observation of the tree line. No assault is authorized. The men remove equipment and sit along the base of the hedgerow. Canteens are passed. Rations are opened. The tension does not vanish immediately, but begins to dissipate. Conversations are quiet. Some men sleep briefly, leaning against the embankment. Others clean weapons or check ammunition loads. The field remains empty. The grass continues to move in the wind. The fence posts do not fall. The tree line shows occasional movement now. Figures passing between trees, visible for seconds before disappearing again. The German positions have not been abandoned, but no engagement occurs. At 08:20 hours, artillery fire begins falling on the high ground. The shells are American, fired from batteries several kilometers to the rear. The tree line erupts in smoke and splintered wood. The bombardment lasts 8 minutes. When it stops, the company is ordered to advance. The advance is conducted without resistance. The German forces withdrew during the shelling. The tree line is empty. Foxholes are abandoned. Equipment is scattered. The company occupies the high ground by 0850 hours. No casualties are sustained. The sunken lane is left behind. The field is crossed at a walk, weapons lowered. No after-action report for June 11 mentions the delay in the assault. Battalion records note the successful seizure of the high ground and the absence of casualties. The artillery fire is credited with forcing the German withdrawal. The company's role is described as securing the objective following bombardment. The message delivered to the commander at 0627 hours is not included in archived company documents. Battalion message logs for that date show routine traffic but do not specify the content of individual communications. The reconnaissance report regarding German armor exists in divisional files but is not cross-referenced with company-level operations. The commander submitted no explanation for the delayed assault. The scheduled time of 060 hours is not mentioned in his report. The attack is recorded as having occurred at 0840 hours after artillery preparation. The timeline is compressed. The wait in the lane is omitted. The platoon leaders made no written statements about the delay. Their personal letters from this period, archived decades later, do not reference the events of June 11. One mentions the capture of the high ground. Another describes the weather. None discuss the field that was not crossed. The men who waited in the lane spoke among themselves in the days that followed. Some expressed relief. Others expressed confusion. A few expressed frustration at the lack of explanation. None filed formal inquiries. The incident became part of the undocumented texture of their experience, remembered individually but not collectively recorded. The company commander continued to lead the unit until July 3, when he was wounded by shell fragments during an engagement near St. Eloi. He was evacuated and did not return to the company. He was discharged in November 1945 with the rank of major. He returned to Ohio and worked in his family's hardware business. He attended one company reunion in 1952. He did not attend subsequent gatherings. He died in 1981. His personal papers include maps and photographs, but no diary or memoir. The first platoon leader was killed on June 19 during an attack on a fortified position. He is buried in the Normandy American Cemetery. His service record lists 2 weeks of combat duty. The second platoon leader remained with the company through August. He was promoted to company executive officer and served in that capacity until the end of the war. He returned to New York and became a teacher. In an interview conducted in 1989 for a regimental history project, he stated that June was a difficult month but provided no specific incidents. He died in 1994. The third platoon leader was wounded in late June and returned to the company in September. He fought through France and into Germany. After the war, he remained in the Army and retired as a lieutenant colonel in 1965. He was interviewed multiple times about his service, but did not mention June 11, 1944, in recorded accounts. The automatic rifleman from the sunken lane survived the war and returned to Michigan. He worked in an automobile factory for 37 years. He did not discuss his service in detail with his family. The field between the sunken lane and the tree line is now part of a private farm. The hedgerows remain, though they have been trimmed and maintained. The fence line no longer exists. The grass is cut regularly. The tree line has changed. Some trees fell in storms over the decades. others were planted. The high ground is still higher ground. No marker indicates that 43 men waited there on the morning of June 11, 1944. No plaque describes the assault that was scheduled but not executed. The sunken lane is still accessible, used occasionally by farm equipment. The embankment where the commander rested his hand has eroded slightly but retains its shape. The distance across the field is still 300 meters. The time required to cross it at a run with full equipment under fire would have been between 90 seconds and 2 minutes. The casualties would have depended on the volume and accuracy of defensive fire, the effectiveness of suppressing fire, and the speed of the advance. None of these variables were tested. The company crossed the field at 0840 hours walking. No shots were fired. The objective was taken without loss. The order that prevented the earlier assault arrived 7 minutes after the scheduled time. The commander waited without explanation. The field remained empty until it no longer mattered. The war continued. The records are incomplete. The silence holds.